Hey guys, it's Elliott from Elliott School of Music, your home for everything for the beginner musician. We've got lessons, tutorials, and everything in between. And today we're starting a brand new series all for the beginner guitar player. If you haven't already done so, be sure and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you can get notifications on future videos in this series. If you've never held a guitar before, never played a guitar before, never done anything with a guitar, you're in luck, because we're starting right now. Alright, welcome to your first official guitar lesson. Again, my name's Elliott, so happy to have you here. And the first thing we're going to talk about is what I like to call the things that count on the guitar. So it's the things that we have to count while we're playing. The first one is pretty easy, and it's the fingers on our left hand. And the way we count those is really straightforward. We call this our first finger, second finger, third finger, and fourth finger. So through the course of playing, we're going to be specific about which fingers to use for different things. That's the first thing we have to count, fingers. Second thing we have to count is our strings. So it's not hard to realize that there's 6 strings on the guitar, but the way we count our strings is from the bottom one, from this small string at the bottom here. That is our first string. And then our second string, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So we're going to talk about using, like I said, specific fingers on specific strings, like first finger on the third string, third finger on the fifth string. That's the sort of instruction that we're going to be having. The last thing that we have to count is what fret we're going to play a string on. Now, a fret technically is this metal bar here, all these metal bars. But we don't play right on top of the metal bar. We play right behind it in this space behind the metal bar. So if I were to say first fret, I'm really talking about this space here. This would be second fret, third fret, fourth fret, fifth fret, and so on. And guitars are kind of handy in that they have these markers on different frets. So the first dot is typically on the third fret. The second dot or marker of some sort is on the fifth fret. And they continue to be marked down the neck to sort of help us navigate the neck a little bit better. All right, so we've discussed the things that count, the things we have to count while we play. Let's also talk about how to read something called tablature, or tabs for short. Now, tabs are these 6 lines at the bottom of the screen, and each one of those lines corresponds with a string on your guitar. Now, it's a little bit backwards from what you might think. The bottom line represents your 6th string, this low one here. The top line represents your 1st string. And then the numbers that are on those lines, again, tell us what fret we're going to play on that string. So the first exercise that we're going to go through is the theme from Jaws, again, at the bottom of the screen. Now, you'll notice that there's a 0 on our 6th string, and then a 1, and then a 0 and a 1 and a 0 and a 1 and so on. The 0 on that line represents that we're going to play our 6th string open or without any frets at all. So the first thing that we're going to play is our open 6th string. So no fingers in the left hand. And then first fret, or the 1 on our 6th string, means that we're going to use our first finger on the 1st fret, 6th string. Now when you play that, you want to use the tip of your finger and arch it up over the other strings as best you can. Some of you that may have smaller hands, it might be a little difficult, but that's going to get easier the more you play. So arch up and over the other strings and use the tip of that finger on your 1st fret, 6th string. You want to press down real hard so that you hear a nice, consistent note after you pick it. What you might hear is something like that. If that's the case, try pressing down a little bit harder. And then the next note in our tablature is back to open 6th string. Back to 1 again. Open. 1. And you can see how it sort of sounds like the theme from the movie Jaws, right? Like the shark's getting closer. Let's play it a little bit quicker now. Same notes. Open 1, open 1. Now as fast as you can. Open 1, Awesome. So that's a good example of how we read tablature, and a good little exercise to get started. Now, the second piece that we're going to work on is a song called Green Onions. And you'll see that at the bottom of the screen, where we start with open, open, still on your 6th string, 3rd fret on your 6th string, 5th fret on your 6th string. Now, in this case, we need to discuss exactly what fingers we're going to use. Our 3rd fret is the lowest fret that we're using in this piece. So there's no need to have any other fingers available for back here on the 1st and 2nd fret. So we're going to use our 1st finger on the 3rd fret. Now, I like to think about hand position in that if we're going from our 3rd fret over to our 5th fret, we're going over 2 frets. We should also go over 2 fingers. So I want to use our 1st finger on the 3rd string and our 3rd finger on the 5th string. So let's look at the tabs. It goes open, open, 3, 5. 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 A couple more times. Nice. Now, if the 3rd finger is kind of harder for you to use than the 1st finger, don't worry about it. It makes total sense, and it'll get easier the more you play it. Also, if the tips of your fingers are getting a little bit sore, that's also totally normal, and the more you play, the more you're going to build up calluses on the end of your finger, and it's not going to hurt nearly as bad. The last song we're going to talk about today is called Peter Gunn. And if you notice, this one sort of adds a couple of things we've been doing. So we start off with open, open, 2, open, 3, open, 5, 4. Now, the lowest fret that we're using is our 2nd fret, so that's where our 1st finger is going to be. Then we're going to move up to the 3rd fret, so we're going to use our next finger for that, our 2nd finger on our 3rd fret. And then when we get to 5, 4, you have a couple options. You could either use your pinky on 5 and your 3rd finger on 4, or if it's easier, you can use your 3rd finger for both, for 5, and then slide it down to 4. So again, we go open, open, 2, open, 3, open, 5, 4, open, open, 2, open, 3, open, 5, 4. Let's do it 2 more times. 2, open, 3, open, 5, 4. One more. Open, open, 2, open, 3, open, 5, 4. The very last part of this first lesson is really one of the most important parts, and that's something called finger exercises. So a finger exercise is something that's going to help us get our fingers to spread apart a little bit further. It's going to loosen up some of these tendons and things back here in the hand, so that as we move forward and as we continue to practice and grow, it's going to be easier to reach further down the neck and play more complicated chords and things like that. So the finger exercise is really simple. We start with our 1st string open, and we're going to add our 1st finger on the 1st fret. And then while leaving that there, we're going to add our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Then add the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, keeping these down. And then add the 4th finger on the 4th fret. That's the real big stretch there. So we're keeping all of our fingers down as we go up the neck. Now we're going to go back down. 4, take away the 4th finger, down to the 3rd. Take that away, down to the 2nd. Down to 1, and then open. And we're going to play that on every string. Now moving on to the 2nd string, open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd, keeping all the fingers down up to 4th, and then back down. 4, 3, 2, 1, open. 3rd string, open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd, 4th, 4, 3, 2, 1, open. Now I'm not going to play the rest of the strings, but I do want to show you one more specific thing. As you reach farther up the neck here, it's the way that you're holding the guitar and holding the neck is really going to make a big difference. So if my thumb is way up over the top here, and this guitar is sitting right here, sort of in the cradle of my hand, I've only got so far that I can reach those fingers. I mean, if I were to try to do that now, it'd be hard for me to do even the first string, especially that fourth fret. It's just almost impossible. But if your thumb is closer to the middle of the back of the neck, and you rotate your wrist around underneath just a little bit, it's like your fingers they grow. It's like they get longer, so you can reach much further. So while you're doing this, practice putting your thumb closer to the middle of the neck and rotating your wrist underneath the neck a little bit so that you have an extended reach in those fingers. I hope you guys enjoyed that first guitar lesson. If you did, please be sure and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can get notified on future videos in this series and from this channel. We've got a lot of really cool things happening, a lot of different beginner lessons for piano, guitar, drums, a lot of other cool stuff planned. So hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon. Thanks.